Simon, an interesting one there. Somebody's just gone through with one of the messages. Jim, one of Simon's pet hates, agents who take so much out the game. What does Simon think if fans get involved and have their eyes open as how much agents take from a particular football club, like Manchester United, maybe like Mino Raiola did with the Paul Pogba deal? Will that change an agent's view on about the business they do, and should they be worried about fans' involvement?
If you're an agent, and we always get the wonderful Keir Option pop up with the world according to GARP, football finances from an agent's point of view. So I'd be interested to see what Keir says, because he's all for owners bankrolling football clubs. If fans are now the intellectual capital and the controlling influence behind football clubs, not only will they be horrified, they hear and see £200 million a year going out the game to these ghastly agents. They hear that, but when they actually see it firsthand, they might have a reaction. But more importantly, how are the agent community going to react when actually, if an owner isn't bankrolling the club anymore, which most football clubs are bankrolled by an owner, and Man United are one of the few exceptions that don't need to be because of the brilliance of that football club economically. But when they've got people in there that are controlling the club and there's no money behind it and everything has to reset, how are the agents going to get paid? I'd be very interested to see what agents think of fans getting involved in the controlling influence behind a football club, because part of that has to be the finances. It has to be, because the things that control football clubs is money, so they want a stake in that. And how the agent's going to continue to rinse the money they do out of the game.
Interestingly,
fascinating.
Chris in Leeds. Jim, if in the utopian world Simon craves for, and football rebalances itself, and clubs live within their means and only save what they generate, are you then not just creating a top six who are the only ones who can compete because they have the best resources?
No, but football clubs can't be run as an NFP. They can't be run as a not-for-profit, but they also can be run on the basis of sustainability. If you don't have a football club that's being run by a benefactor that needs his money, then you can get proper people in there that are independent, that can run the football club with the best interests in mind, like normal directors that run a business that aren't actually the benefactors. They're running a business and they're being judged by the economics of that business.
I have to say, I tip my cap to you, Mr. Jordan, aka Mystic Meg, because off the back of the botched Super League, you texted me the other night and you said, watch for an element of self-protection come in here now. Now we know the Premier League has announced that all owners will now have to sign up to an owner's charter. There you go. It's exactly what you said would happen. In a bid to stop any future attempts of joining a breakaway league. So what you said is now manifesting itself. Will that be? How effective will that be?
I'm more worried about the protectionism of the UEFAs and the FIFAs of the world. The Premier League, I have less concern about their desire to tighten up certain situations and to make it more punitive if these guys have the balls to be stupid again and do it in such a stupid way again. I'm actually more concerned about the outrageous fiefdoms of UEFA and FIFA, who are all about generating revenue and having influence and are corrupt to their very core. But this owner's charter, we're not clear on the detail of what it says, but I think what it's going to do is tighten up the obligations. And if I'm in their shoes, here's what I'll do. I would retrospectively take away the funding that the football clubs have got from the Premier League if they try this again. So, by definition, if Man United and Liverpool and Arsenal and whoever else, Chelsea, Man City and Tottenham, decide this is for them again, if I'm the Premier League and I want to sanction them, I'd say, the last 2 years' money you've had, you've got to give that back.
Well,
so you're leaving to go and get some more money over here, but you've got to give back what you've had out of the last 2 years because you've used us as a platform. So they're tightening up the observations. Some of the things they're saying about acting with integrity, please, where is the integrity in sport? Where is the integrity? I crave integrity.
But this is a pipe dream, is it? That aspect of it.
If you're the only person in a room with integrity, as I found out a lot of times in football, then you're going to walk out of the room empty-handed most of the times. And if you look at football, and besides the integrity of the fans' committed support to the clubs, and sometimes that wanes because they don't want to watch the club anymore because they don't like this manager or this owner, the integrity of sport, players diving, cheating, agents conniving, the corruption that goes around the authorities, where is the integrity of this sport?
So you're right. I mean, that's a pipe dream.
I'm troubled by it.
That's a pipe dream, that aspect of it. But if you stand up to the charter, owners will be committing themselves to the core principles of the league, which include an open pyramid, progression through sporting merit.
An open pyramid where 90% of the money goes to 20 clubs. When you listen to hypocrites like Gary Neville that talk about the business of sport and sit there whilst campaigning for clubs like Man United to spend £100 million on players on a regular basis, there isn't, Jim, the whole rotten corrupt cathedral needs to be brought down and reset. The fans deserve better from the game. They deserve better, and it needs a reset. And where Gary and people like that are right is maybe regulation of some talk, maybe a commissioner who sits on that board. I don't know. But the idea that it's fair, the Premier League takes a great big dump on every other league in English football, whilst complaining the other 14 clubs about what the top 6 was going to do to them. Look at what they did to the EFL in the.
It's quite an image, that.
It's an awful image, isn't it? Where you can imagine some of the people sitting there doing it.
Yes.
But by the same token, you look at it and say it's broken. It needs to be reset. Football finances need to be for everybody, not just for individuals. And currently, it's for individuals, 20 clubs or 6 clubs, but certainly not 92. And this country, and the reasons why the Premier League exists and is the greatest league in world football, the reasons why all those clubs in Europe wanted 6 members of our league in the ESL because they can't carry it themselves, is because our football, this country, is given the greatest domestic football because of 92 clubs and the pyramid. And the Premier League does not care about the rest of football.
Yeah.
So,
I love that. And you're right. It's got to maintain the highest standards of sporting integrity.
But it don't exist, do they?
No.
But look at the players. We sit on this show every single day watching the players conniving and con. We try to get VAR in to eliminate some of it. The reason why VAR is in is because, A, we haven't got good enough people in the game because sporting integrity doesn't seem to translate into sporting ability when it comes to administering the game. And when it comes to the players' integrity, the diving and cheating and not wanting to play. And then you've got the whole fabric of football, which is self-interest. You've got Gary Neville talking to Richard Scudamore the other day and debating with him about sporting integrity, whilst Richard Scudamore handed the keys to the Big Six by saying, you have some extra money on top of everybody else, whilst I depart with a £5 million handshake. Have you ever heard such nonsense? It's an outrage.
who's having
outrage from London, Simon Jordan.
and all the time, we're all being dumped upon. It's quite a morning,
awful
isn't it?
Image, isn't it?
It's 11:30.